2 days ago, I started as the executive director of the Climate Science Legal Defense Fund, which is a group that has been in existence for a few years, but now it's being spun off into a more independent group. We help climate scientists deal with harassment litigation. You might know about the Michael Mann case. We assisted him with that. Scientists unfortunately have been the target from groups that like to use baseless litigation techniques to attack them because they don't believe with the political implications of the climate scientist work or climate change in general. And we hope to help scientists through doing legal education for attorneys, explaining to scientists what their legal rights are, connecting scientists to attorneys, letting the public know about this problem that it exists, various forms of education, outreach, and yeah, helping scientists defend against these people who are attacking them, unfortunately.
Sure, and many of us have heard about Michael Mann and his legal battles.
Right.
Are there a number of other less well-known actions going on?
At the moment, there's some smaller scale stuff. There's climate scientists who unfortunately deal with, I hate to say every day, but I think unfortunately that is the reality. Small scale harassments and there is some ongoing litigation. I believe Gavin Schmidt has an ongoing litigation. It's been dormant, but it is technically still ongoing. I know Catherine Hayhoe had something in the recent past. There are a few other scientists, unfortunately, names escape me at the very moment. But, it's not been the most high profile stuff, but it is ongoing, unfortunately.
Okay, when you say baseless litigation, can you
Right.
can you flesh that out a little bit?
Well, these groups use things like FOIA, which is an open records law, and they use it for
The Freedom of Information Act.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, going a step back, the Freedom of Information Act laws, which are both federal and state, and they use it to get open records for government scientists and scientists who have government funding. And they use it in a way not to learn more about government rulemaking, which is what its intended purpose is, but to harass these scientists, intimidate them, waste their resources, to the extent that they are able to get any information. I'm sure they're looking for things they can take out of context to, smear them with. So the whole purpose behind this is not a valid inquiry into government rulemaking, which is what FOIA, which is intended for, but more to, harass these climate scientists who have gotten the ire of these groups that don't believe climate change is real.
Right, so they're taking a law, Freedom of Information Act, which was meant to create more openness, to
Right.
shine more light on the government, and they're actually using it as kind of a tool of Big Brother to pry into people's private lives and emails.
Yeah, I believe one scientist said to me they're using this tool as a bludgeon.
Right,
So
right.
it's a tool with noble purposes, but they are using it for ignoble means.
Okay, well, somebody might say, well, wait a minute, why shouldn't we have access to scientists' emails if they're receiving public funding? What would be the answer to that?
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons that these, particular emails are not subject to FOIA. For one, they're often going after personal emails, and FOIA, by its purposes, is involved in government rulemaking and government decision making, and personal emails involving non-government issues are clearly exempt from that. And it's just a waste of time for scientists to have to litigate this issue when it's pretty clear from the language of the statute that it doesn't apply.
Now, and we've talked about Mike Mann and Gavin Schmidt, both of whom are very prominent in their fields and certainly have an advantage that way. But one of the concerns here is that younger scientists, people that are
Right.
just getting started, they can they can feel more vulnerable. They might be
Yeah.
more vulnerable to intimidation. Can we speak to that a little bit?
I mean, I hope that's not the case, but I recognize it's definitely a possibility. And I think the sad reality is, if you're studying climate science, that there's a possibility that one of these groups may launch its crosshairs on you. And that, I think, for a younger scientist who's just starting out, who may have fewer resources, is a very scary prospect. I mean, that's one of the main reasons this group was started to help reassure scientists that someone's got their back. And, to the extent that younger scientists are concerned about that, I would encourage them to reach out. We are going to be increasing our education and outreach efforts, as I mentioned earlier. And we have forms on the website. You can contact me anonymously or using your full name, and I'm happy to counsel you on whatever is concerning you.
And that website would be
Oh, climatesciencedefensefund.org.
climatesciencedefensefund.org. You mentioned education and outreach. What would be outside of inviting people to contact you? What would you be doing to kind of put the word out in the science community?
Well, so I actually am going to be writing an article for Earth Magazine, which is the magazine for AGU, American Geophysical Union, and I believe that is slated to be published in January. I'm also going to be attending the AGU conference in San Francisco from the 15th to the 20th. So there will
Excellent.
be a lawyer in a box session where people can meet with me anonymously one on one.
A lawyer in a box. I like it.
Yes.
Okay.
And we also have a team of pro bono attorneys and, very senior people in the field. And, to the extent that someone actually does need a team on the ground, we will be connecting them with pro bono attorneys who can put together a litigation team, if and when that's needed.
Wow. So this would be people you have contacts with around the country that are
Yeah.
willing to step up
Yeah.
and defend scientists.
Yep.
Wow, that's incredible. And so, what can people do if they want to help out with this work?
Well, first of all, I would say, any attorney who's interested in assisting, I'd be happy to talk to about potential pro bono work or something of that ilk. We're also happy to take donations at our website.
Okay.
You can buy a T-shirt if you would like to be a part of our, publicity campaign.
Okay.
They're very snazzy, and yeah, just getting the word out. It's always nice to hear words of encouragement. I've gotten some great feedback from our supporters. I think any way that people want to participate, we're happy to have them.
Yeah, and also letting the bad guys know that there's a new sheriff in town and it's
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and letting the good guys know that someone's got their back
Right.
if they need it.